Hi, this is Food All You Never Wanted to Know, and we are looking at our lima beans. This is really cool. I think we're going to pick a few of these today. Some of them are bulbing out. Oh my goodness. And they are Dr. Martin lima beans. I don't think they're going to get as big as they're supposed to. But you know what? I would like to have some for lunch with corn. I want to make succotash. So I'm going to pick just a few that seem a bit bigger. I also would like to seed save them. We will see. They have really pretty flowers. You can see that they're yellow with a little bit of white. Well, they're yellow and then they open, they get white. They're very pretty. So I'm going to collect a few of these from here. Not sure quite how many I need. I threw some in my pocket a minute ago and then I decided, you know, we are gonna have them with our lunch today. So I'll get a few more and then we'll go in the kitchen and see how they turn out. Okay, so we're back inside. And I have these pods, and I'm going to get the seeds out of the pods, the lima beans out of the pods. I already opened this one, and I think I opened it backwards. So this is a good size for lima beans, not necessarily for Dr. Martin's. And this pod, they feel a little bit bigger. I'm going to open them from the right direction. Whoa, look at that! Oh my goodness! Look at that. That's more the size that Dr. Martin should be. Hopefully they're not overgrown. But as I said, I'm also going to be, see if I can open these ones. That one's being stubborn. I really respect, sometimes we go to the auction and there is somebody who has gotten the lima beans out of the pods and they sell them in these cute little containers. I respect that. That's a ton of work. Okay. Somebody told me you just squish them from the top. That's a nice size. Some are bigger than others. Anyway, if you want to seed save these, you must only grow one kind of lima bean within a certain distance. It might be the same as for beans. I'll have to check it. This one doesn't have much in it. Oh my goodness, that one won't even open. Okay, if you push it hard, they do open. Some of them only have 2 in there, but I think the ones that have 2, they get a little bit bigger. Wow, massive, massive lima beans. Oh my goodness. Those are big too. So anyway, so if you're seed saving, do not have another lima bean probably within 200 feet. I wouldn't do more than one lima bean in a year, frankly. It's not a vegetable that you need a ton of, like string beans, like green beans or purple beans, which you can eat 2 or 3 times a week. I am completely destroying this pod to get these ones out. So now when you go to the store and you buy lima beans frozen, I'm sure they have machines do this somehow. Okay, so it's not a ton, but it's a few. I'm gonna step back and turn this up. I have the steamer there. I wash the pods so I don't have to wash the seeds that are inside. Okay. So that's what lima beans look like. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, I thought it was growing, but it's not. It was just a little piece of something. So anyway, I turn the steamer pot on. This is my nifty steamer. I do all kinds of things in this, including, oh, I just turned the rear on instead of the front. But it was hot, so it should be steaming pretty soon. I'm gonna put these in here while we get the rest of our lunch, and I'm going to let this go maybe 10 minutes, and then I will add corn, and we're going to have succotash for lunch. So Okay, those limas are puttering along. They've been in there for about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to take this lid off carefully, not to get burnt. And I'm going to add the corn. And this happens to be frozen corn. You could use fresh if you'd like. If you use dehydrated, make sure that you rehydrate it. Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on and check it again in another 10 minutes. Okay, so I believe it's done. I did add an extra couple minutes. We're going to put this in a nice bowl here. As you can see, I don't put as many lima beans as corn because you really don't need that many in there unless you super love lima beans. Anyway, now I'm not a salt and pepper person. You could put some salt if you would like. Usually I would just eat this plain, but we're getting fancy today. We're going to put a little bit of butter. And by little, I mean a little. Don't pretend you're eating popcorn. So anyway,
I noticed those slices you put in were very thin.
They were thin, yeah, because this is just a little bit. This is just enough for 2 people, which is wonderful. And boy, it smells good to me. I'm gonna let's see if I can. My helper thinks I'm the one who's gonna eat it. I'm gonna give it to my helper. No?
You're first.
I'm first. Okay. Hopefully it's not too hot. There is nothing. There's nothing as sweet as really good fresh lima beans. And oh my goodness, those are sweet. Those are good. They weren't terribly prolific. Excuse me. They weren't terribly prolific for pole beans, for pole limas. I did plant them later than I wanted to, so that might have had something to do with it. And maybe the greenhouse needed to be watered a little bit more than I watered it. But they were beautiful plants, so delicious. I recommend if you can find a source. It's very difficult to find a seed source for Dr. Martin limas, and that's one reason why I'm probably going to try to seed save. Okay, the wrong button got pushed. Anyway, let me finish this up, and as I was starting to say, is I might try to seed save if I have enough time. I don't know, because even though they're in the hoop house, there may be some cold at night that may be too much for them. So I'll see. The thing with lima beans, and any kind of other beans actually, you need to let them grow until the seed pods, which is the outer coating, the outer covering of the seeds, make sure that gets nice and dry, crispy even. Now, if it's partly dry, it's getting to that point and you see that it's going to have a deep freeze one night, you could pick them and continue drying them inside, but hopefully by that point the beans will be mature enough to be germinating. Now, I did check the book, and this is a little bit intimidating, but with lima beans, you need to have them a mile away from any other lima beans. That's really far. I don't think we have anybody nearby who's doing lima beans this time of year. The gardens of our neighbors are behind their houses and way down this long lane. So I think we're okay this year, at least for now. There's some other things that you can do if you do want to save lima bean seeds and you live too close to people and don't know what they're growing. You could do blossom bagging, and you can look that up on the Seed Saver Exchange website probably, or other sources to teach you how to do that. Also in the book Seed to Seed by Suzanne Ashworth, it describes how to blossom bag. You could cage them, but I don't know about you, I'm not caging pole lima beans. Maybe if they're bush limas, you could make a cage out of wood and PVC and some kind of very fine mesh netting or rime or even screening, I believe. The thing is, the bees love those little pretty flowers. They'll flit around and they'll go really far and cross-pollinate for you, even though the flower of the lima bean is self-pollinating. It will pollinate itself. It doesn't need those bees for you to get, bees. It doesn't need the bees in order to get the beans. But the bees will take that pollen and crisscross it. One nice thing is lima beans will not cross-pollinate with anything else, will not cross-pollinate with your beans, but lima beans, whether they're bush or pole, will cross with one another. So these are good things to know if you want to try to seed save and save some of those Dr. Martens or whatever other kinds of limas that you're growing. So again, this is Food All You Never Wanted to Know, signing off. Please share, like, subscribe.